West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The search for Miss Uganda 2024 is on. Get ready to be wowed by the girls' intelligence, charisma, and big dreams. Who will be the next Miss Uganda? Find out starting 10th May every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. on Makulachika, exclusively on Star Times. For more details on how to join the competition, visit www.missuganda.co.ug or visit Star Times branches. The show is sponsored by VNA, LMZ, Comform, Nanjing Hotel, Kira Motors, Sheraton, Uganda Airlines, and lead sponsors Grass Textiles and U-Home. Miss Uganda 2024, true Ugandan beauty.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, a very good evening to you watching West Nile Television this evening. My name is Farish Majid. You're most welcome for this talk show. And we are going to be joined by a team that is from Uganda Bureau of Statistics. And this is also in relation to the forthcoming, that is National Population Housing and Census exercise, which is going to be taking place just with a few days. And this is also really 4 days to the exercise. And so many people have been doing so many things. And really, we are going to be also discussing with the team here. And we want to see how this exercise can make it, can be a success, because each and every 10 years, the government of Uganda carries, that is the population census exercise. This is to ascertain the number of people that is in the country, and this is also to help the government budget for the masses, that is promptly and really before wasting any more of our times, because we are really some minutes after 8 o'clock, and initially we were supposed to be starting the discussions that is right from the hour of 8 o'clock. But due to some challenges, we didn't, that is started from that time. But nonetheless, we are already here. Without wasting any more time, if I can be briefly maybe start introducing the team, that will be also really well good. But for you, the viewer, maybe watching us via StarTimes at your home, in the comfort of your sitting room, you are most welcome. And for those of you also watching us or that's online as well, that is on Facebook and YouTube, we still say, nonetheless, you are still most welcome to the show. And now on the panel, I am joined by, that is Ocen Dickens George. He is the City Census Commissioner representative here. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
All right, that is him, and we also joined, that's just a few meters from her, we are joined by Consolate Olemaru. She is the City Information Officer, and so many of you could be knowing her. And she could not be maybe a new face to some of you, but in this case, she will be also really in another new capacity. Maybe if she can briefly also introduce herself to you as the viewer out there, that would be well and good, because she is a colleague of ours, and yesterday was an important day that is in the lives of journalists, and really I also want to wish her that is happy World Press Day, because I believe it's still not very far, and the day was just yesterday. You're most welcome, my colleague journalist.
Thank you so much, Farish. My name is Consolate Olemaru. I'm the City Publicity Officer for this census, and I'm so happy to be here today.
All right, thank you so much. We also joined by Mr. Lumu, and you're most welcome, and he is the city statistician, but today he is also holding another capacity that is in relation to the forthcoming National Population and Housing Census exercise. And if you can also really briefly introduce himself to you as the viewer out there, that will be well and good, because I believe he is the best person who can best introduce himself. You're most welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Musa Lumu, and I'm the city statistician, but here I'm in the capacity of city census officer. Thank you so much. Well,
now to begin off with the discussions with Mr. George, really so many people have been saying so many narratives about that is the forthcoming population census exercise, and 9th of May is not very far, and today we are just counting that is 4 days to the exercise. I don't know how prepared you are, and why must the citizens be part of this exercise, if I may briefly ask.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. You know, census is a national undertaking. And it is, like you said, it takes place after every 10 years. The main aim of census is to collect benchmark data that informs a number of activities in the country. It informs planning, it informs policy formulation. There's also a benchmark that provides data for other activities that we do as a country and even in the academias. Notably, census provides key statistics One of it is population. For planning to take place, we need numbers. For planning at the city to take place, you need numbers. For planning at the national level to take place, you need numbers. And resource allocation at all levels of government operation, you need numbers of people, the structure of people, how many are women, how many are children, how many are elderly. You hear of the SAGE, which are given to the elderly. So you need clear statistics about the population and its disaggregation. Say how many are women, how many are men. For children, we want to plan for the children. So basically, census provides us with that benchmark statistics, which inform our government planning, resource allocation, services that are supposed to be provided for those people. Talk about education, where should we construct schools, where should we construct primary school, secondary school, how about health facilities. Talk about health center 2s, health center 3s. We need population in order to plan better for our people so that the services are available. Okay. Basically, those are... Okay,
let me briefly come to Consolate, that is in relation to maybe the exercise ongoing, which is going to be also really undertaking place a few days from now. I do understand that you have done so many things. I know this is not the very first time we are talking about this census exercise, and we want to see the success. I don't know, maybe what are some of those things that you have done that is sorry to make sure that the information about the exercise reaches each and every household, and so that also really people do not shun the exercise, because yesterday we did see some of the cult leaders on the papers. It was reported that some people wanted to also really, that is also really jeopardize, that is the forthcoming exercise. I don't know what you have done maybe as stakeholders to make sure that this success, this program ends, that's in success, and we don't want to see it maybe also really getting into waste like some of the projects that government has undertaken. I don't know what you have done, that's in particular in relation to the forthcoming national population census exercise, because sometimes you also really realize that people have negative stereotypes about this exercise, and I believe you could have done so many things. And now maybe how have you prepared yourself to make sure that the masses out there also prepared for this exercise, that would also really help maybe them understand why they need to be part of this exercise starting a few days from maybe this week?
Thank you. Thank you so much. As a Arua City, I want to say that we are prepared 100%. We are very prepared. We have done a number of activities to prepare for census. One of them has been sensitizing the population. We have been on radio, in all our radios in Arua City. We have gone to our local council one structures in the city, talking about the importance of census. We have done a lot of publicity in terms of making people aware. Also during this period, we are using the religious leaders, we're using the cultural leaders. We want to use their structures to let them talk to the people that follow them. If you go to the churches, if you go to the mosques, if you go to the cultural institutions, they're always speaking to a lot of people. So we have used them as an entry point to ensure that they speak to the masses that follow them, and emphasizing the importance of census. We are emphasizing that census is a very important undertaking for a country. And for the city, as a new local government, we are just 3 years old. We are heavily relying on this census of 2024, because if you look at the figures that we've been using for planning purposes, they may not be what is represented on ground. So we have told people that everybody should ensure to be counted, whether you are a national, you are a refugee, because we also host a number of refugee population here. Recently, we got data that was released by Bakari University, supported by VNG, and we are hosting about 24,000 urban refugees and forced migrants in our city. So it is through this census that we're going to have this put in context, and it will inform our planning processes. I also want to say that next week, that is the peak of our publicity, we are moving to the trading centers. Many people do not watch TV, many people do not listen to the radios. We want to move to the community. We want to have road drives. We are going to the trading centers all over this city. We're going to be having people that will be talking to the population. We're going to gather them and ensure that they get information on census. You also did talk about the people that are against the census exercise. They may also be in our communities in Arua City. I want to say here that the RCC, our Resident City Commissioner, has been very strong in his wordings and said any person who is against the census would be committing a crime that is close to attempted murder. So we want to inform everybody that it matters to be counted because we are banking on these numbers. They are very important for us as a city, and we're going to use all people of influence, social media influencers. We're going to use our local artists. We're going to use our community structures, the LC ones. Next week, there's going to be a lot of activity. For those who have not heard about the census, it would be a perfect opportunity for them to know from the different people that they follow.
Maybe if I can be able to ask Mr. Lumu to tell us what categories of people are you going to be also really targeting in this exercise? Are we also not maybe having limits to age, sex? What exactly are you going to be maybe counting? Who exactly are we going to be counting? Because I do understand that there are certain categories that may not be counted, for instance, in this upcoming exercise. Maybe the newborns, the newly born babies, for instance. Whom are you going to be targeting in this exercise?
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator, and the viewers outside there. For starters, we are having census 2024. This is the 6th census after 1969, the first census conducted in the country. This census is we are targeting everyone, irrespective of the age, national or non-national. Right now, like what my colleagues have said, we are in the pre-enumeration. This is where we're having trainings. Right now we have for trainings, tier 4, we're training the enumerators and supervisors. We just concluded, mapping before this engagement, of which we identified 97,000 households for our city. And it's for this that we're having census. What maybe I would say is let people welcome this census. It's a non-political, non-partisan. It's for everyone. It's through this that we shall have our resources distributed equally. It's through this that we shall have services in the hospitals, in education, regardless of any national. That's why you see this census, even we have refugees, urban refugees, all this will be counted. We have refugees in the settlements. For our case, BDPD and the Omugo, all those will be counted. So this census is not all about nationals, not all about, excluding the census night being 9th. So everyone will be counted.
Irrespective of the age.
Irrespective of the age.
Okay.
Yeah. Even you have floating population. Yeah. Those will be those will be street. Those will be sleeping. They have those who are having homeless nights. Those will be on transit. We have our colleagues unstable. We call them the mad people. All those will be counted. Okay. The barrack doors, the police, the prisons. All those will be counted. Okay. Recently, you did carry out that is the sensitization, and that is you also came up with the strategy of recruiting people who are going to be carrying out this work. That is as enumerators and supervisors. I don't know how prepared the team is. If you can also really tell us how prepared the team is, because I do understand that these teams have been undergoing training, and so many people have actually applied, and also have so many colleagues who are really eagerly waiting. Maybe how set is the team for that exercise? Yeah, true. Thank you so much. As a city, we're having 755 enumerators and the 95 supervisors. We are right now undergoing training for them. That is tier 4. We have training centers, one in Arua Public Secondary School. We have Oluko Secondary School. We have Adumi Secondary School. We have Ombachi. That's why we are training these enumerators. Today is day 5 as training is concerned. We are done with the theory part. Just today, we received our tablets. For your information and the viewers outside there, this census is different from what we have been having in the last 5 censuses. Those were puppy paper-based questionnaires. This one is so much digital. That's why at some point when you are recruiting, the condition was you must be at least knowing to use the smartphone in a way that we shall be using tablets. And that's the importance, I mean the difference from this and the previous census we've been having. Okay. So our trainings are ongoing, and just on 9th, that's when we shall be starting the census with the census night. But before that, we are hoping that we have a mock interview of which we to test our capabilities of our forces, our enumerators and supervisors.
Okay, maybe if you can also tell us briefly about the issue about confidentiality. I want to pass that to Mr. Chen. How confidential is the information that these people are going to be giving out, maybe in terms of numbers? Because some people are shunning the exercise because they're having negative stereotypes that their information that they're going to be giving out is also really going to be used in different purposes. How confidential is this information for the viewer who is watching us right now and still having that negative stereotype towards the exercise?
Thank you very much. Viewers out there, the Bureau is mandated by the Act, the UBOS Act. And the Act binds us under one clause of confidentiality, which is one of the principles of data about people. So the data we collect about people, we are bound by the Confidentiality Act, and that information is not shared by anybody. In fact, the enumerators we are training, that we are going to recruit, will take oath of secrecy. And that oath of secrecy binds them from sharing any information they have received from our respondent. On top of that, the enumerator is not supposed to share any information from any respondent or from household or anybody. At the Bureau, whatever information that we have received, we keep it very confidential in the sense that we anonymize all the data in case of any microdata sharing. But by and large, the information we report out is normally aggregated. We do not report individual information. So we do aggregated information. Say, for example, in Arua City, we'll be telling you how many people we found in Arua City, not their names, not their age, not where they stay, but we'll be telling you the aggregation that we found this number of women, we found this number of men, we found this number of children, and we found this age group of children, we found this age group of women. So basically, no data about an individual is going to be shared by anybody. All information we collect are kept confidential. And we urge the public to be free to give all information. When our enumerators come to you, feel free to answer whatever question they're asking you. Do not keep or do not hide any information from them. Give accurate information because it is vital, like we have been talking about planning. If you do not give us accurate information, then you're affecting the quality of the statistics.
Okay, let me now ask Consolate, what message, that one message you have for that one mama who is still in the village, still wondering of whether to actually give in that right information or to keep it secret. What message do you have for that mama who is maybe watching us in Mariokolo, it could be in Zombo, it could be in Nebi, it could be in Kampala, it could be elsewhere in the world. But really, what message do you have for that maybe one person who is still deep down in the village and maybe or in the urban center, but still wondering and lingering in the minds of maybe whether to give in the right information or not? What message do you have for them?
Thank you so much. I want to say that it matters to be counted. If you're watching us now, you need to ensure that you're counted because the information you're giving is going to help us to plan. I want to say that recently we gave out mosquito nets. Many people missed because the numbers were not adequate for the number of nets that were given to us. So if you are counted, you'll be able to get government services. When you go to the health facilities, sometimes you go for drugs. Drugs are not enough. In a week, the drugs get done because the number of people are more than the ones that were planned for. So I want to encourage you who is listening to us that it may be your family, your friends, make sure that they get this information. When our enumerators come to you, to your home, receive them, give them the time. Some people have been complaining that the questionnaires are too long. I want to assure you that the questionnaires are not long. They are only asking for the relevant information that a household is supposed to give. So when the person comes to you, give them the attention, give them the time so that they can take your information. And if your information is not taken, then when the services do not reach you, you'll be missing out a lot. I also want to say that in our city, we have so many children that are being born every day. The classrooms are not enough, and government can only give us adequate resources when they have the numbers that they are planning for. So I want to encourage you who is listening and watching us this evening that it matters to be counted. If people have not had the information, tell them what census is all about. Census has not just begun in our times. Even in the biblical times, there was census that was conducted. So a government can only plan for its people through census and through getting the right numbers. I want to also say that there are people there who are very aggressive when people come for government programs, even PDM, whatever programs. For this matter, our security officials are going to be on standby. This is a government exercise. We encourage that you give all your time to attend to the enumerators.
You know,
they are going to come, yes?
You're not talking about people being very, very much aggressive. I remember the scenario during the indoor residual spray where somebody was able to remove bows and spears to also really threaten the lives of these people here. And that is what brings us to the end of the break. We are heading for another short commercial break. Sorry to cut you short. I wish we would be able to continue with that discussion later on. We're 35 minutes after 8 o'clock, and you are really still watching Western Television, channel 477 on Star Times, and really also online in the different media platforms, for instance on Facebook and YouTube as well. But for now, let's first have this short commercial breather, and we continue with the discussions later on.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The numeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the numerators, provide correct data and information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The numeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.
fellow countrymen and women, especially the Bazukuru, as we work towards realizing Uganda's Vision 2040, it is important that we plan based on accurate information about our people and our resources. I therefore would like to announce the 6th National Population and Housing Census that will start on the 10th of May 2024. The information from the National Population and Housing Census will support government, the private sector, cultural and religious institutions, civil society, and development partners in service delivery. It will also provide the basis for planning the provision of social services such as education, health, and transport, among many others, at the national and local levels. When data collectors or enumerators come to your home during the census, please avail yourselves and provide them with honest answers to their questions. This is in order to enable them to process the most accurate information about you, your household, institutions, and community. I therefore call upon all political, cultural, and religious leaders, private sector players, civil society, the media, and the institutions of the government to support this key national program. The successful execution of this census will influence the well-being of all Ugandans and progress the country towards the desired socio-economic transformation. I wish you all a successful census for God and my country.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are back. That is also to go on with the discussion that is in relation to the upcoming National Population and Housing Census exercise, which is also really beginning, that is due next week. And really want to see how people must also really take part in this exercise, because we are saying it matters to be counted, because if you, maybe as the viewer, is not counted, then definitely at the end of the day, the resource you are going to be accessing from where, maybe wherever the place is, you are going to be using a resource that was meant for another person. And that is why we are saying you must be counted, and that is also to help the government budget and cater for you who is maybe going to move to these facilities for the different social services. And that is one reason also we are here, and I'm still with the team from UBOS. And before we did go for the break, we are still that is being taken through by, that is Miss Consolate Olemaru, and she is the city communication officer, and today she is here on a different capacity as the publicity officer, that's of the National Population Census exercise that is going to be taking place. And really want to see how maybe the different languages through which the questionnaires are going to be arranged, because if you look at West Nile sub-region, this is the only region that has its name in English, West Nile. The rest have their own. If you look at Acholi, Ankole, Buganda, these are all in their different mother dialects. But if you look at West Nile, because of our unique nature, we are called West Nile, and it is in English, and that obviously tells us why English is our uniting language, and we cannot run away from that fact. And we want to see now how people are going to be also really being part of that exercise there in the different languages, because if you look at West Nile, we have so many languages. We have the Madis here, Alurus, Acholi, the Lubaras, the Kebus are all here in West Nile sub-region. How are you going to be catering for all this, maybe as the city publicity officer for the forthcoming exercise? You're most welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. About the language, we're going to make sure that everybody is catered for. That was one of the criteria we used to recruit our enumerators. So people who applied for the jobs are able to show for us their capacity and the ability to speak the various languages of the city. The city is a cosmopolitan city. We have people who are coming in from all parts of this Uganda. We have the Baganda here, we have Indians, we have all sorts of people. So I want to assure that we have enumerators who have the ability to speak the various languages in the city, and they'll be able to go to these households and conduct this exercise successfully. I also want to say that West Nile and Arua City particularly is proud to have a population that speaks English. it's really not a limiting factor. If you go to even our markets, you find women who are speaking English. So it's not really a problem for our enumerators. If they find somebody who speaks Maditi, they'll be able to enumerate that household. If they find somebody speaking Alur, we have people who can speak multiple languages. So I believe in that area we are covered. But also another aspect has been about people who are always moving up and down. There are people who say they come to the city center, they may not be at home. On the 10th of May will be a public holiday. Everybody will be expected to be home because that will be the day when our enumerators will be going to the households. I want to assure everybody that an enumerator will be able to reach you. Some people feel that on the 10th, if they don't get an enumerator, maybe they may have missed the exercise. It runs up to the 19th of May. So in case they don't reach you on the 10th, maybe on the 12th, 13th, up to 19th, somebody will still reach your household. And we have already enough enumerators that are going to reach every household, the 97,000 households in Arua City.
Now, let me come back to Musa Lumu, and this is in relation to the forthcoming exercise. Unlike the previous exercises, this one is going to be quite unique, and it's going to be the very first time that we are carrying out, that is a population census exercise that is going to be online, coupled with the different challenges that have been maybe seen in the other government projects. I don't know how prepared you are. For instance, the issue about electricity, we are still grappling with challenges of unstable electricity, and then the issue of that is also network, which has also really been there. I want to give an example with the PDM, where people face a number of challenges. I don't know, maybe you as who are going to be carrying out this exercise, maybe how prepared you are. If you can tell us how prepared you are for these negative challenges that are coming up, that would also really help us understand why this exercise is going to be a success.
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator. One thing I have to tell the viewers outside there that we are prepared as far as our city is concerned. Our trainers, our enumerators and supervisors are undergoing training right now. It was today that we received our tablets. Each enumerator or supervisor will be given a tablet with a power bank. So one speed that having charged a battery and coupled with the power bank at least a day, we can be able to have this exercise or data being collected for that day without any interruption as far as power is concerned. For the case of the internet aspect of it, yeah, you are very true, because areas like Odamachaku, where areas like Okolo, of course, we got some challenges even during this training, whereby we were experiencing some internet issues or network issues. But for the case of SSS during enumeration, our tablets are in such a way configured that they can go offline, right? They can go offline, and they assure the public that information will be kept and will be collected. Like my colleague said, it will be confidential. Yeah.
Now let me ask Mr. Chen, how prepared are you for the challenges? For instance, also really we may also really see people who may want to disappear with the gadgets. How prepared are you for such challenges? Because not everybody is going to be wanting to work maybe for the right cause. Others may come because they want to make and maybe benefit from it. How prepared and how safe are your gadgets? That is for the forthcoming exercise.
Yes, thank you very much. We must embrace that we are moving away from the use of paper to a digital world. And we cannot go any more analog. There are a lot of advantages that come with the digital gadgets as far as data collection is concerned. And we are going to register quite a number of benefits. One of them is receiving data real time and even producing it in the shortest time possible compared to the traditional methods. UBOS is prepared in terms of security measures to make sure the gadgets are safe. One of the things we are working with, like you heard Mr. Musa say, we are working with the security of the district, of the city, to make sure the community is safe from all kinds of scrupulous people who are trying to probably attack our people or, do any other things. The security has assured us that they will do surveillance in the entire place. But also, For those people you think they want to run away with a tablet, we believe that will not happen because in terms of assigning you this gadget, we take all your details. We want you to give us your name, you give us your photo, you will also take your national ID together when you're holding the tablet. That in itself is first of all one aspect of getting your entire detail. So we believe such people won't be there. And two, these are people who are recruited by the city. They are not just
you know, there's this category of those who may willingly want to disappear with the gadget. And then there are those also circumstances, if you really see what is in Arua city coupled with the issues of insecurity today, where phone grabbing is a challenge. Maybe in such, we are not praying for that, of course. We maybe in that scenario, if at all an enumerator is able to also lose the gadget. Do we have maybe any criteria of retrieving back these gadgets before also them disappearing? We are looking at a situation where, really, if you were in Arua city, you can be able to tell. Recently, we did see operations going on that is sort of to chase these thieves away from the city center because they had become a problem to also the security of this area. And these may also really be able to lose their gadgets in hands of such unscrupulous persons. Do we have any measures of retrieving such gadgets that is from these unscrupulous persons?
Yes, the first thing is every user of a gadget must follow the minimum guidelines we are giving them. One of the things is we are putting APN cards in those tablets, which have access points. So if every enumerator follows the minimum guidelines we have given them, we can retrieve whatever gadget is. But of course, personal security is very important. Just like you secure your phone, we don't want to be chasing after, you know, everything is lost and we begin to run after people, you know, tracking. All those can be done. But personal security is very, very important at all levels. So we are encouraging our enumerators to keep the tablets safe and secure, much as we can track them, but we are encouraging them to keep them safe and secure using personal security.
I know so many people are now going out, that is through training, that is as enumerators and supervisors. I want to now ask Consolate also, what benefits are they going to be having? Because so many times people have fears that I'm going to be work, but will I be paid? I want that assurance to come directly from you as the publicity officer.
Thank you so much. The assurance was already given by His Excellency, the President of Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I think even during the commercial break, he was still assuring us about the census. By the time he launched census in December last year, on the 12th of December, it was an assurance that Uganda has invested money to conduct this very expensive venture. So our enumerators, the supervisors at the parish level or at the ward level for us as a city are not afraid. We have already told them that they're going to be facilitated by UBOS, and UBOS is working together with the Ministry of Finance and Planning and Economic Development. The details of these enumerators and parish supervisors have already been taken to ensure that they will get paid. This time around, the money will come to the phone of that person who is working for UBOS. If the enumerator has to register their phone numbers that is registered in with their national ID. So we hope that everybody is going to be paid for the work done. Already we received payments for our trainers who are conducting the trainers. When they did the TOT, the training of trainers, they got paid. So that's already an assurance that they are going to be paid. So nobody should be afraid. Many have been complaining that in the past they've worked for other government agencies during other things, elections and all that. I want to assure you this is an activity that has been planned for. It's been 10 years of planning. So they're going to be paid for and nobody will do work without being paid for.
All right, that is it. I also want to now ask Lumu to add on, that is also in relation to that is the assurance, because we want to ensure that each and everybody must do this work diligently, because we may also be in a scenario where somebody is going to work because he or she feels they're not going to be paid, and that also really in one way or the other could be able to affect, that is the outcome of what we expect from them. One assurance to them.
Yeah, one thing we must have as citizens of this country is in any activity you are going to do as a human being, first have your country at heart.
The patriotism bit.
The patriotism bit. And then downscale it to your home as a raw city. Because trust me, in any activity you do, if you put payment or money first, you will not accomplish what you really want to do. But nevertheless, for the sake of census, this facilitation, like my colleague has just said, we had the TOT trainers, we trained them, and we have facilitated. The same for the inmate and supervisors who are being trained right now. They are going to be paid some facilitation for the 9 days training, and then after, also a facilitation will be provided for the 10 days enumeration exercise. So people should not be worried. These monies will be coming direct to their funds, like is earlier on said, on the condition that the person to be facilitated has a mobile money registered in his or her names. So people must be assured that this monies will be paid. Even this one of the training which we are undertaking right now, people may receive their monies before or on the day of the training, the end of the training.
Okay, now let me go back to Mr. Ocen. Looking at 9th of May, it is not very far from what we are seeing today, because today is that is the 4th, and we are going to be seeing this exercise commence. That's on 9th of May, which is not very far. That is from next week, because we are going to be seeing this exercise commencing next week. First of all, tell us maybe what time the exercise will be able to begin, and then secondly, talking about the issue of quacks. How can these people be able to discriminate, maybe they identify quacks that is also from the genuine staffs of that is UBOS? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. There's what we are calling a census night. This is a very important night that I want all people in West Nile to be acquainted with. The census night is the 9th of May 2024. On that night, let's say we took a photo at midnight, and that photo is what we shall be asking the subsequent questions come 10th up to 19. Have that imagination. So from 10th of May, our enumerators will be walking to every house, door to door, talking to someone responsible, one adult person, or someone knowledgeable about a household, to provide us information about the household members and the household characteristics. So that is very important. The 10th, like Madam Consolate already said, is going to be a public holiday. We are encouraging all Ugandans to master that, master the detail of members who slept in your household on the 9th of May 2024. That is what we call a census night. We are left with just 6 days, and we are encouraging all Ugandans, young, old and elderly ones, please keep that record. When our enumerators come on 10th, they will be referring to the night of 9th May 2024. That will start from 10th up to 19th. Those are the enumeration days. So we are calling upon people to be available at home so that they are counted and they provide accurate information.
Okay, that is also really why it matters to be counted. As we are just remaining with about 3 minutes, I will be able to give each one of you 1 minute to make your final say, and that will be able to also really usher us into the next program that may follow. I will be able to still start with you, and then the chain will be able to continue up to me, who will be the final person.
Thank you very much, viewers and listeners out there. This is an opportunity. I want to make a call to all people of West Nile, to all people of Ugandans listening to us. Avail yourself to be counted, accept to be counted. Do not chase our enumerators. They will come with a clear tag that will identify them as an enumerator. So be willing to talk to them. I urge you to be available. It matters to be counted.
Okay, maybe let me also come to Consolate, because the information I'm receiving is that they have also added that some few minutes, that is already that will help us maybe understand why we also need to make, that is each and everybody out there understand why it is very, very much important. Why, I will be able to start with you. Why is it that maybe for those people who are in the villages and those who are sick, and also why is it that they must be counted, and what exactly is the benefit, maybe as we get to remind them once again, because somebody out there, we may be talking about maybe also the population census, and somebody has just joined us and doesn't know why exactly it matters to be counted. If you can maybe do that quick reminder, that would be also really quite well.
Thank you so much. It matters to be counted, and I know that we have various categories of people. We did say here that we have what we call the floating population. These are people that may be traveling in the night, in the buses. We have, as a city, people that are going to Kampala every night, and we're going to ensure that even at the bus parks where the buses take off from, we're going to have our enumerators. They will be able to do some questionnaires at the bus stations where they are going to take off from. And those who are going to be counted from where they are setting off from will be given cards so that wherever they reach, they will already be counted. And then also we're going to have our institutional questionnaires that will go to our institutions, that will go to the hospitals. There are people who are in the hospitals. There are people who are going to be sleeping in accommodation facilities of the city. We are going to have our enumerators on the 9th of the night of the 9th, the census night. They'll be going to these accommodation facilities and ensure that everybody is counted. Okay. And then for the households, Farish, I want to say that everybody will not be missed. I want to encourage, census is done for a specific reason. And the most important reason is planning. But the second important is also for policy formulation. If you look at the questionnaires we have for this census 2024, we are looking at the health standards, we're looking at housing and accommodation for Ugandans, we're looking at lifestyle, the dressing, we're looking at even indicators like how many people die, maybe the statistics of the people who are dying in a country. So there are various, what we call functional difficulties, which are in layman's terms, we call them disabilities. How many people are disabled in our country and in our city? So they're going to look at so many indicators during this census. It is very important for us to plan on different aspects. So I want to encourage you, inform your people, talk to your relatives. I even keep telling people that before you sleep, tell your husband before you sleep it matters to be counted. Tell everybody around you that it matters to be counted, because when you're counted, then it means you're planned for, and government will be able to allocate the right resources to provide services for you. Thank you.
Okay, let me now come to Musa Lumu, maybe on the same topic. What message do you have for the poor as we get to climax with the show?
Yeah, I know many people, also my friends who enjoy happenings at night, one might be asking, now for me who will be clubbing at that time, will they count me? My friend, in that category, be assured that you'll be counted, you'll be treated as a household member. You go for your clubbing, but in the following day we shall get you at home, or we shall get somebody responsible at home to give us your details. You can see my friend here, our commissioner representative, Mr. Dickens, will be having all these days here in our city, but still will be counted. So what I'm going to say in brief here is that everyone, regardless of where you're coming from, where you are, we shall get you and we shall count you. Right. What I would maybe want to say is people should give that respect to our staffs, our enumerators. These people will be dressed in with the aprons, will be dressed in with the IDs, so that clearly you can identify that this is somebody from UBOS, this somebody who's coming to collect our information, which information will in turn help us in future for policy formulation, for planning, and many other aspects. So as the community outside there, we really ask, we might not be doing it the way you think, but we ask, be the ambassadors.
Talking about the support to this exercise, who are those stakeholders maybe you would feel you want to work with?
Any person, even you yourself, is a stakeholder in this. The LC1, any person who can really speak out to a colleague that census is real, census is non-partisan, census is not political, is not NRM, is not NUP, it's not FDC, it's for everyone. Because when you go to the hospital to get services, services are given to you regardless of political affiliation, regardless of religion, regardless of whether you are national or non-national. So this census is like the way you're getting services. So everybody, regardless of what, that's why you see at some point, we shall even ask you about your household characteristics.
Okay.
Whether he maybe ate some food or something of that kind. All those questions will be there.
Okay.
I know Ugandans might be worrying because was it yesterday or something, some days back, there was a headline that Ugandans will be asking. I mean, will be questioned 180 questions. One thing I have to say is, it is true those questions will be there, but questions at different level. You can find a gent cannot, a male adult cannot answer. There are some questions that a male adult cannot answer, which are direct to a female adult. And then there are some questions which are directly on to the kid. So they vary. Okay. And like also my colleague said, there are many questions. We have household, we have accommodation, we have floating, we have institutions. So everything is catered in this census.
All right, that is it. Yeah. That's in relation to what the questionnaires are going to be holding. And if they ask you maybe how many wives you have, and your wife is maybe whom you had hidden somewhere is around, please do not box our enumerators, because that is what they are mandated to do. And if they come and still ask you maybe if you ate food, and really we encourage you not to also really lose your tempers. And really that does bring us to, that is also to the end of the discussion. And I really want to thank the team for coming through and talk to you, the masses out there. And really we thank you so much. And to you, the viewer who watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning, we say thank you so much. Have yourselves a good evening. And that is from Western Television. We love you so much, and we shall be able to come back still with a discussion, and as we look forward to also really making this exercise a success. From me to you, have yourselves a good night and a good weekend as well. And we also really encourage you to stay tuned to the rest of the programs that may follow.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The numeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the numerators, provide correct data and information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The numeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.